What's happening, Wisdom Warriors? Back at it for another video. Happy Saturday, everybody. Hope you're enjoying today. Uh, Hope your day's going well, whether it's morning, night, evening, middle of the night, whatever the case may be. Hope that you're enjoying it. Hope that you've checked out all the new things that have been coming up that we've been working on. I've been working on. I've been working on with others in these different collaborations. We premiered a new video, a new series called The Awakening at 7 a.m. Eastern Time this morning, 9 p.m. Australian Time. We also premiered a premiere of it, kind of like promoting it. But that's the series with Johan's Odyssey. Check him out on Johan's Odyssey YouTube channel. Also, we will be premiering a second installment or second video on Spiritual Bootcamp Just Breathe on the YouTube channel. And we're continuing to work on spiritualbootcamp.net. We're adding video series, we're adding audio podcasts, so you're going to have both kinds on there. We're going to also have the YouTube channel linked to spiritualbootcamp.net. We're also working on a membership paywall area for content that just needs to be behind a paywall. We're also going to be working on a Patreon, and we also have blogs on there. We're going to have recipes on there, just merch, just a whole bunch of things that is, essentially coming to fruition. So just stay tuned. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and you hit the notification bell so you get notifications when we drop new content on this channel. Make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell on Spiritual Bootcamp Just Breathe. Make sure you go over to Johan's Odyssey. He's got some really badass content, and we're working on a lot of projects together too, along with the Awakening series, which, as I said, we already premiered a brand new video which is up on my channel. This one, Wisdom Warriors, and Johan's Odyssey. Check them both out. Hit the like button, hit the comments, hit the subscribe, hit the notification bell on both all the channels, and just get ready, man. We are really moving forward in a whole bunch of different ways. I want to continue to grow this community, and just be a place where we can all share in a safe way, and feel safe in when we share, and not only that, we can meet others, we can connect with others, we can collab with others. I mean, all kinds of things. We come together and unite, and so yeah, now that I got all that out of the way, I put a short out earlier today about awareness and what is it and do we really need it? And yes, we do. And yes, it's important. Yes, it plays a big factor in how we navigate our emotions, how we navigate situations, how we experience all kinds of stuff. And I've been doing this practice for a little while now, quite a while now, at least 2 months, but more than 2 months, because there was a break between the classes that I was doing, and one was in February and one just ended. So it's been going on I've been doing it for quite a while now, and I'm starting to realize that it really does work. And if you do nothing else, just to hold that awareness, or just to be aware of the emotions that are arising, or the things that are happening all around you, like this fan that's running next to me this air cleaner that's running next to me. I'm aware that the air cleaner is running, and there's nothing to change. And if you just do that little practice and just hold awareness every time you feel something come up in your body, and mind you, I'm dropping you an amazing tip. So I urge you to try it, because I'm telling you that it works. And every time I do it, I sit down and I do it. Even when I'm not sitting down and I'm not closing my eyes, I still kind of do it. And I was in the sauna earlier for like 20 to 25 minutes and earlier today, and I was using that practice as I was in the sauna, because I noticed I was experiencing fear and anxiety in the body and different things like that as it was getting hotter and hotter in there, and I was getting dripping sweat. I was experiencing fear and thoughts that were taking me places. Now, mind you, I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. I'm not telling you it's a bad thing. But I'm telling you, when you hold that awareness and you say, I am aware of the thoughts that are bringing me into fear, all right? What it does is it puts you in the observer mode, as if I'm sitting here watching myself on this camera and just aware that I'm watching myself on the camera, not actually attaching myself to the person in the movie or the actor in the movie or me on that camera. I'm detaching myself from it. So I'm still feeling the feelings, but I'm not attached to it as if it was me. I'm not like, oh, that anxiety is me. And I'm essentially just observing the anxiety. Of course I'm feeling it, because it's in my body that I'm inhabiting, but in being in the body and inhabiting in the body, or being inside of this vessel or this body or this temple, whatever you want to call it, I'm going to feel those things. But what I noticed in doing this practice for like 15 to 20 minutes, and it clicked. This happened like a day or two ago. And again, I did it actually twice today. In the morning, after I meditated and did, I think, breath work, I said, you know what, I'm going to do it. Actually, before I even did that, I did it once. And then I did it again after breath work, meditation, and yoga. And I'll tell you what, I just laid there, closed my eyes, and observed what was coming up inside of me and around me. So while I was doing that, as it got further and further deeper in the practice, like more and more towards the 15 to 20 minutes, I began to start to feel my body just go into complete peace. And then towards the end of the practice, I started to say, I'm aware of peace. I'm aware of the calmness in my body. And literally, as I was getting deeper into the practice, as I was getting further into the practice, I could hear the noises of my nervous system going into that parasympathetic state. Just like what happens when I do Kundalini yoga, just like what happens when I do breath work, just like what happens when I do all these practices that have to do with kind of essentially bringing peace to the body and to yourself. And that's pure freedom. That's true mastery. And the more and more you do it. Now, there's many different ways you could do this practice, which what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop different videos periodically, giving tips and discussing different ways you can use this practice and how. So just what I urge you to do is just try this. Try it this way first. Just use awareness. I am aware of. You don't even have to say the end part that I said at this point. If I were you, I would just start with I am aware of. And just be, and the more you can do that, I mean, if you're at your job, if you're walking in nature, if you are watching TV or watching Netflix, continuously repeat, I am aware of. I'm aware of whatever comes up, whatever arises. And the more and more you will do that, the more and more you're detaching from those things. You're not attached to it. You don't think it's you. You are not thinking it's a part of you. You are detaching from it and just observing it. And what will happen is, like I said, as I said, I'm aware of the anxiety in my body, I started to feel the anxiety just dissolve. Literally, I felt it just dissolve into nothing. And underneath it dissolving into nothing was peace. Was true peace. And I promise you it works. And what you can intermittently do in the 15 to 20 minutes, and if I were you, get yourself like, you can get these online. They're really reasonable. You know, it's a little like stopwatch timer. I use it for breath work. Let me put it in the front of the. I use it for breath work. I use it for now I'm using it for kind of. You can use it for this practice. You can use it if you want to meditate and you want to time it. You know, but you can get them anywhere, and you can get them online. They're really cheap, so very reasonable price. And I got a couple of them. I use them for many different things. If I'm doing like breath holds, intermittent breath holds, you know, I was using it for that. When I start taking the teacher training for the breath holds, I'm going to be using the timer like this, those stopwatches. For the breath work I currently do, which is conscious circular breathing, I don't need it at this point, because I kind of do it along with my teacher, who, you know, motivates, keeps you motivated and has music going, and it's I just do the whole thing, so I don't necessarily need a timer at this point. And I've been doing that for over 6 months, you know. And once I do finish the teacher training for this breath work and get certified, I'm going to then move on to this other breath work teacher that I'm going to get teacher or certified in. And then I'll go to the Wim Hof, which I have his trainings also, which I haven't completed. So there's a lot of things in the works I'm currently working on. But most importantly, my goal isn't really even to finish it. I mean, yes, I'm going to finish it, but I'm not in a rush, because I'm getting true, real experience by every single morning laying down and breathing. There's nothing better than that, than having your own real experience. And I've been doing it for well over 6 months, every single day. And what that's kind of doing is preparing me. And then when I finish the training, I'm going to have all this actual experience under my belt, you know, from my own experience of actually doing the practice, you know, of using the breath. And it's the same like when I do Kundalini yoga. It's like you're essentially, I'm trying to think of the exact words that they use in there, but you're essentially learning how to have control of the breath. And so then when I do these movements, like you're rowing a boat and you're moving your back and you're moving forward and back, and you're using the breath to bring yourself back up, because you're not going fully down, but you're going, like, you know, halfway down. And then when you breathe in, the breath is pulling you back up to go forward. And essentially you're using the breath. And it's so profound, and it's so powerful how the breath really does. We can use the breath in so many ways, and it's mind-blowing. And we just were never taught these things, and it's sad. And but hey, you know what? That's what I'm here to do, is teach from experience. And some organic coconut water to hydrate you and give you the electrolytes, and nothing like some good coconut water, organic coconut water, you know. But I just want to convey that awareness is so important, and the more we can step into the observer and observe everything like it's a movie, but then not observe it in a way that you attach yourself to the actors and these false idols and things like that, but you're actually just observing the movie, You're observing your life. You're observing every single thing that comes up. I'm aware of the plane flying by in the window. You know, I'm aware of the car that just drove by. And it may sound stupid to you. It may sound pointless to you, but in actuality, it's not pointless and it's not stupid. I promise you that. And if you're here and you're watching this video, then there's a reason you're watching it. I'm telling you right now, there's a reason you were meant to be here and watch this, because this practice was meant for you. Or maybe the breath work was meant for you. But I promise you this, it works. And the more you do it, the more you practice this, the more you implement it in your life, you're rewiring the brain to really drop you into the observer, to really bring you into the awareness, to have awareness all the time. I'm not going to say it's easy by any means. Some people like to just be oblivious and walking around like a zombified and really not, you know, and really not aware or present to their life or what they're doing, or, you know, they just want to be robotic and they want to be on autopilot. But me, I personally think that to be in the awareness state is freedom, is true freedom. It's transformed my life. And I promise you this, the more you do it, it's just like the more I walk around and I pay attention to my breath. And I come back to the breath. And that's another thing that you do intermittently through this practice. You say, I'm aware of the breath. And then you say, I'm aware of the cars driving by. And then maybe three more times of other awarenesses. And then you come back to, I'm aware of the breath. I'm aware of the chest rising and falling. All these things will then eventually put you in a state where you don't even have to do it anymore. It's habitual. It becomes natural. It becomes normal. It becomes you really don't even have to think about it anymore. And you will essentially walk through life as the observer, walk through life with the awareness, you know, and it's so important in our everyday lives right now. And it's so vital that we do this, because we're moving into a direction where secrets are getting revealed. People are revealing themselves. Things are happening in the external that could rattle you. And the more you are in that observer state where you're looking at everything like it's a movie, and you're in that awareness, the more it's not going to rattle you anymore. You're going to be in true freedom. You're not going to be attaching yourselves to a million different things, people, and places. You just won't. I'm seeing more and more and more how it's benefiting me, how it's helping me, how I can lay there and find peace in no matter what I'm experiencing. Because this last week was pretty tough for me. But having all these different practices that I have, like yoga and breath work and going in nature, and paying attention to my breath and having the awareness and just observing everything, and constantly having that awareness of, I'm aware of whatever I'm feeling. And then to find, as you're doing that, you begin to detach yourself from that anxiety. You detach yourself from that fear. You detach yourself, and that's not bypassing. It's not spiritually bypassing whatsoever. You're just you're allowing whatever is coming up to come up and be seen, which is exactly what it wants to do. But you're not attaching to it. You're not saying, I am that anxiety. I am that depression. I am that fear. You're not any of it. It's there. And that's a constant. It is there. And it is coming up. But you are not it. Just like you are not the body. Even though you're in the body, even though the body gets you around, the more and more you can do this, the more and more you won't have these moments where the anxiety turns into rage, or it turns in, and if it did, that's okay. Because as long as you are observing it and you are aware of it, it will dissolve. It will dissolve. Because that's all it's coming up for. It's trying to tell you something. It's trying to show you something. There's something in it there for you to see. And it wants you to see it. And the more and more you ignore it, the more and more you suppress it, the more and more you push it away, the more and more it gets louder. The more and more those kids in the back of the bus get louder because you are ignoring them. The more and more you don't put your attention to them, the louder they will get. Because you're ignoring them. But at the same time, you can observe it and not attach to it, not be it, not think you are it, because you are not it. It is just there, like, to be seen. We all have these emotions. We all have anger, fear, anxiety, guilt, shame, anger, rage. We all have them. It's how do you react to it? Do you just observe it? Do you watch it? See, many, many years ago, when I started on this path, I would be told, well, you could be in the shower and you could watch, you could imagine the water that's coming out of the shower head as the emotions. And they're just constant. The water keeps coming out of the shower head, and that's the emotions. Or you can imagine I actually used to visualize this. I used to visualize the emotions on little logs in the river, and I'm just standing on the side of the river observing the logs going by, and the logs going by are the emotions that I'm experiencing or feeling, or the thoughts. I'm just observing it. I'm not attaching to that thought. I'm not thinking I am that thought. I'm just watching it. And it's like, just like this, you can say, I'm aware of these thoughts that are pulling me into a story that I experienced last night. I'm aware of my thoughts that are trying to pull me into a story that I experienced last night. And essentially, you're just becoming aware of every single thing that arises. Everything. It doesn't matter what it is. I'm aware of the anger or rage I just had that came up about this individual I saw at the store yesterday. I'm just making that up to give you an example. That didn't happen. I just want you to relate and understand and have examples of how you can use this practice to better your life, to improve your life, instead of like that thought or that fear comes up and you resist it and you're fighting it and you don't want to experience it and you just right away go and you numb out and you drink some alcohol or you put on Netflix or you call a friend to numb out, to distract, to avoid that. And then it just keeps coming up, and then we wonder why we have chronic anxiety or we have chronic fear or we have chronic pain. Whatever the case may be, it's there to tell us something. It's there to give us a sign. It's just like the body giving us a sign that it's tired. And you're exhausted, but yet you just keep going and going and going and ignoring the body telling you, man, like you feel like shit, you feel extremely tired, you're exhausted, but yet you keep drinking energy drinks and caffeinated coffee. You just keep drinking this to negate the fact that the body's telling you you're tired and you need sleep. So you're just like, well, I wake up in the morning and I'm exhausted and I have to go to work and work a 12-hour shift. So I'm just going to drink this coffee and these energy drinks to ignore the fact that my body's telling me I need to rest. Right? So then what happens? And that's awareness, my friends. That's awareness. And so what do? We keep ignoring it, and then what happens? We have injuries, we have problems that happen, we have things that arise, and we're like, well, I don't understand why this is happening. Why could this be happening? I don't know. Like, what is the universe trying to tell me? Like, am I off the beaten path? Like, what is the reason? Well, you've already been getting signs that you're exhausted, that you're tired. Maybe like instead of working that once you work that 12-hour shift, then you go out and you're hitting the club or you're hitting the bar or you're going out with friends. Maybe you need to go home and rest. Maybe on your lunch break you need to rest. Maybe on your other breaks you have to rest. You know, instead of pushing that thing that the body is trying to tell you, like, yeah, I'm tired, you're tired, and then you drink that huge cup of coffee or Mountain Dew or whatever that case may be to try to perk yourself up to keep going. Eventually, your body's going to break down. Eventually, you're going to have health challenges. Eventually, you're going to hit burnout. I've been there, done that with all those things. I've gone down those paths. It's like the more and more you're in that awareness state, the more and more you can pay attention to the signs the body's trying to tell you, and the signs that the universe is trying to tell you, and the signs that other people are trying to tell you. And then you'll be more cognizant of the things you're doing, and you won't have these things happen to you. They won't happen anymore because you're aware and you're listening to the signs and messages that your body's trying to tell you. Hey, maybe you shouldn't be eating those foods. Maybe you need to eat other foods. Maybe your body's telling you that, but you're not aware of it. So the more and more you drop into the body, you drop into the observer, you drop into awareness, the more and more you will be prepared and you will understand what the body's trying to tell you and the signs around you. And these things won't happen to you anymore. And you'll be more prepared. So, let's recap this whole thing. And we're going to wrap the video up. And I promise you this, we're going to do more videos like this. Because I feel like people out there need to hear these messages. And need the assistance and these tips. So, I hope that this helps. If it does, I'd love to hear your comments on how the practice helped you. And what you felt like after doing it. If you really were brought to peace. Like I have been. And it's been a life-changing, transformative practice. I mean, out of all the practices I do, I love this one. It's quick. You could do it anytime. Just like you can do the breath. I mean, you could bring yourself to breath anytime. And the more you continue to do that, the more you come into awareness too in the present moment. And you're not, like I said, bypassing anything. You're not high vibing out of anything. You're not spiritually bypassing because you're seeing everything around you. You're just in that awareness state, that observer state. So what? There's peace under everything. That's not bypassing whatsoever. It's making you more alert and aware to what your surroundings are, what is happening to you, by you and for you. And it's just a beautiful practice, along with all these other ones I talked to you about many times on many videos. So with that being said, what I suggest you do is you sit down 15-20 minutes, hit a stopwatch. Maybe you have it on your phone too. That's fine too. Make sure, I mean, it's fine if somebody hits you up and you get a text, a phone call, it doesn't matter. Just have awareness to it. I'm aware that the phone was just ringing. I'm aware that, and as I said, you do it, you say, just take a couple deep breaths in and out. And then start the practice. I'm aware of the air cleaner next to me running. And then just breathe and, wait a few seconds. And then start again. I'm aware of the birds singing outside. And you could do like 2 or 3 breaths, like deep breaths in and out, like 2 or 3, and then do another one. I'm aware of my breath. And pay attention to your breath, you know? Pay attention to your chest rising and falling when you say it. And then again, breathe a couple times in and out. And then another one I'm aware of. And that's where I think the best place to start is. Since you haven't done, if you haven't done this before, then start there. And then we'll as time goes on, and I come on here and I bring more tips, and more different ways to use this practice. Then you can do it in different ways. But start right now and do this as much as you can. And like I said, if you're sitting and watching Netflix, if you're in a conversation, you don't have to say it out loud. You could say it in your mind. I'm aware of the conversation I'm having with this individual. I'm aware, and then in that conversation, if you're feeling angry or they're getting you frustrated or they're boiling you up or they're triggering you, I'm aware of this feeling of being triggered by this individual, but say it inside your mind, obviously. Don't say it out loud because you're obviously having a conversation with that individual. It will bring you more into the it's not going to make you so that you're not paying attention to that person, because you are. You actually are more aware of what they're saying. And you're actually observing what they're saying versus attaching to what they're saying and becoming what they're saying and emotionally feeling everything they're saying. You're actually observing that conversation. Like as if you're like flying above them in a helicopter and just observing it, you know? And I tell you what, man, that is true peace, freedom, mastery of life. So just try it, man, and drop in the comments what you thought of this video, and if you want to hear more of this, and if you want to hear more videos like this. I'd love to hear your comments. I would love to hear how it worked for you. Try it. I promise you, you will gain so much awareness and so much more freedom in life. I love you all so much. Take care of yourselves and each other from my heart to yours. Until next time, please like, subscribe, share, and comment below. I love you all. Take care. I will see you soon. Get ready for the Sunday sermon. Get ready for all the stuff we're dropping on this channel and all the other ones I've named. Get ready for the next installment of The Awakening with me and Johan from Johan's Odyssey. I love you all. Take care of yourselves. I'll see you soon. I'll see you tomorrow for the Sunday sermon. Take care. Let's go, Wisdom Warriors. We got this.